on, guys and gals, and welcome to Good Will Hunting. 2023 is coming to an end, so it's time for us to give you our top 10 horror movies from the year. One of my favorite videos to do every year. Excited to get into this one, Birdie.
Yeah, Brett, you know what? You are right, man. I'm excited for 2023. It's just another year down the books. I would say 2022 is a better year for horror, but you know what? I felt like we still got some very good entries to the world of horror, the year of 2023, and I'm excited to jump into it. And of course, if you are a Patreon, be sure, or a YouTube member, you can also jump in as we'll be doing a recording for our top 10 non-horror movies of 2023 coming up in the near future. So before we even get started, what are some of your favorite movies from the year 2023? Let us know in that comment section down below. Without further ado, Brad, do you have any HMs?
You know what? I'm not doing this. It's your turn to go first. You're going to go first this time.
Oh, me?
Curveball. Uno reverse card.
God.
Yeah, you got it.
Am I finally the boss?
Yeah, well, you're going first. We'll stick with that.
Yay! Dude, my freaking miracle, man. This is all I wanted for Christmas.
It's Christmas.
Even though Christmas already passed us the time this video comes out. So here we go. So let's go ahead and go honorable mentions. And I got two definitely worth mentioning. The first one being It's a Wonderful Knife. So if you're a fan of the all-time Christmas classic of It's a Wonderful Life, I feel like you're definitely going to enjoy this movie because it's pretty much that concept, but we're going to throw a slasher feeling into it. And also, again, just throwing in some of that It's a Wonderful Life-ness into this movie too, about like a girl wishing that she was never been born, and she totally immediately regrets that decision, like Ron Burgundy says. And I just think that all the cast members have a really good time making this movie, especially Justin Long, bring out another entertaining character in the world of horror. So I just wanted to mention that. And my second honorable mention is going to be Megan, that AI son of a bitch, who has good intentions at first, but the more she learns, the more she actually learns the wrong things and just personal attachment, and it goes wrong. But really, Megan just tells an underrated story that I feel like it just gets overlooked just because of the AI doll and her creepiness. So I encourage you all to give this another watch, or if you've not seen this movie, definitely give it a watch for that underrated story. And those are my two honorable mentions.
Yeah, I got Megan up there too for the same reasons, man. It tells a good story. It's got good characters. Everybody like it. It's a much better version of Child's Play from 2019, the remake. So I really appreciate it for that. I thought it was much better done. My other one's gonna be No One Will Save You. This was a Hulu original movie, just straight to Hulu. I really enjoyed it. I thought this movie was really well done. No dialogue throughout the whole movie, which I thought was unique and cool. Yeah, that being said, I don't know how often I'll go back to it just because of that. I mean, I don't know. I probably will because I really enjoyed it, but it's just kind of one of those that, it had a good performance and some good suspense and stuff. But as far as I like having, character moments and stuff like that, which this movie had that, but it's a little bit different when there's no dialogue. I don't know. That's just me. But yeah, that's my two.
Okay, and I have to throw in one more honorable mention just because I finally figured out that the debate is finally over that you and I have been having, and I forgot to add it to this list. So I need to add it onto this list, so that's why I got pushed one out. So quick honorable mention, it's going to be Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm not sure where the hate comes from in this movie, to be honest with you. I'm not familiar with the game, so I guess that is why. But I actually like what they were trying to do, and apparently everybody else did, because it's one that is the highest financial success that Blumhouse has ever produced. So something good's about it, and it's worth mentioning. So honorable mention, Five Nights at Freddy's.
Five Nights at Freddy's. All right, go ahead with your number 10, man.
All right, so my number 10 is going to be Hell House LLC Origins. And I'm not even going to begin to describe what the last part of it is. I guess it's something about Carmichael, or like Michael drives a car. But it's not really about that. It's about the origins of one of my all-time favorite found footage flicks in the world of horror, of Hell House LLC. And definitely, I say, in my opinion, this is definitely one of the most scariest movies of the year, just because of great job setting up the tone and the atmosphere of the big old manor that you get to see in this movie. Actually borrows some from James Wan about exploring the house before they actually begin the storytelling and the scares. So I thought the scares were really great. One time where I did have to pause the movie, and when I have to pause the movie to catch my breath, you did something right. So I implore you all to take to give this a watch on Shudder, and you're gonna have a scary good time, especially with them clowns. So my
Yeah.
number 10 is Hell House LLC
Don't
Origins.
don't clown around no more. Number 10 for me is going to be Knock at the Cabin from M. Night Shyamalan. Didn't like his last movie, Old, but this one came around. Didn't really have expectations for it because of the last one, but I really enjoyed this one. David Bautista was a big reason why. I thought, he's probably the reason why this is above Megan's, because I thought his performance was great. Obviously, the dude from Harry Potter came in there, Harry Styles, whatever his name is. It's not Harry Styles, but it's something,
Ron
And
Weasley.
he was friends with Harry, and they had style together when they did, But anyway, so he was good. I thought that was cool. But I like the story that it told. I like the the family. You got the two parents and then the kid, and they have to kind of decide if they're going to kill one person in their family or let civilization die. Basically, the world end. I like that. I thought it was compelling, super confined inside that cabin. You don't know what's going on in the outside world. I like movies like that. So give it to me. I dug it.
Hell yeah, man. And that's actually what I need to revisit, just because I bet if I revisit it, it might actually go up for me. But I agree, Fo. M. Night Shyamalan, welcome back to the world of horror. Never give us a movie like Old ever again, or I'm going to have to hurt you. So my number 9 is going to be No One Will Save You, Brad. You mentioned this in your honorable mentions, but I put it in my top 10 just because I actually like our protagonist, who hardly doesn't even say a word in this movie, which to me, that's a very bit of a challenge you're going to bestowed upon an actor or an actress. Is taking away their ability to speak. For example, Nick Cage in Willy's Wonderland, Brad's favorite movie of all time.
I speak.
It's really not. But seriously, this movie is very good. I felt like they did a great job hiding the CGI-ness of the aliens, and when they actually show it, it actually looks pretty decent. So that's why I was really impressed with this original stream movie on Hulu. If you got Hulu, check it out. Number 9, No One Will Save You.
Yeah, man. Number 9 for me is another stream movie. This one's totally killer. Came to Prime, dug the hell out of it. I thought this was just a fun movie. It came out, it got a lot of buzz right out the chute, so I popped it on. Obviously it's got the time travel elements to it. I really like that. It just adds another, because you throw in time travel to a slasher movie, it creates a whole new conundrum, and I like it a lot. You got 2 different time zones going on. It feels like there's some Back to the Future stuff going on there, but you throw in a killer that follows you through time. That's cool. And I thought the lead actress in the movie was great. I thought, a lot of things about it was just a fun time. I was really into it the whole time. So I really enjoyed it. I think, it's one of the better stream movies this year for sure.
Hell yeah, dude. And I'm going to just, continue that momentum because my number 8 is going to be totally killer. Like you, Brett, I've been hearing a lot of buzz about this movie, so I played it immediately on Amazon Prime. And the best word, you've already used this word already, it's just a fun time. And the main actress was very good. I love the whole, again, time travel where we combine the eras of current times of the 2020s, mix it in with the 80s. They've seen those kind of like those different time periods clash, and that was so much fun. So I give all the writers in the world for writing up that script to be witty with it, and the jokes land for me. And that's all. I'll leave it at that. You pretty much nailed the rest of it. So my number 8 is totally killer.
Cool pick. Number 8 for me is going to be Evil Dead Rise. This was one of my more anticipated horror movies of the year, and it still kicked ass. So I really enjoyed it. Obviously, it started off with a bang, with people getting freaking scalped with the damn drone, and then the freaking body raising out of the water with that epic title card that it played there at the beginning. And it never really let go from there, man. You go to the skyscraper. We get some great performances in the family. The main lead here again was outstanding. All the other people were good. It's just been kind of, for me, one of the ones that's just I've forgotten the most about as the year's gone on. So again, maybe if it was earlier, this might be a little higher. But honestly, like there's a lot of stuff I don't even remember about the movie. So that's not really to discredit, but a lot of it's been a while since I've seen it, so it's probably fallen a little bit farther than it should. But again, I thought it was great. Had some great epic moments, a lot of blood in there, good elevator sequence with some blood in there. The skyscraper was a fantastic place to bring some deadites, so I applaud it for that.
Hell yeah, dude. And guys, don't stop the video. I know Brad's crazy, but don't stop the video. I'll help redeem it later. But no, dude, I respect that. Like, if it, like, so for example, if it came out like last month, I bet you it'll get a lot more
Yeah,
buzz.
probably,
Yeah, it'd
yeah,
be kind of like the Thanksgiving in a way.
yeah.
But so I don't blame you. That was a good pick. My number 7, let's see, yeah, 7 is going to be Saw X. And if you ain't down with that, I got 2 words for you. Watch it. So definitely give Saw X a watch. Definitely a different Saw movie than what we're used to. Yes, it still gave us the gory good time with the traps and everything that make us cringe like that, especially that freaking piano wire. Holy shit. Like the saw wire, that is.
Yeah.
But yes, but we decided to take a different approach and actually give all the spotlight and the focus on our boy John Kramer and give us to get to know him a little bit more, and definitely a unique take on it. It's a fresh take within this franchise, and I think it worked. It surprised the hell out of me. Brad, I know you'll talk about this later, so I'll save some of that goodness for you. So my number 7 is Saw X. Break it down.
Good pick. Number 7 for me is Thanksgiving. This is one of the better slashers I've seen, and like this, and obviously Totally Killer, another one. Good year for slashers, honestly. Not too bad. Scream 6, we'll talk about probably later. But yeah, I thought this was really well done. You know, creating another slasher icon possibly for another holiday, Thanksgiving, giving us another annual classic to watch every year. We're going to pop this on every Thanksgiving. You have to. You got to celebrate the right ways, and I think this is a good way to do it. It has one of the coolest scenes of the year, that opening sequence there at Walmart, I'll say, for all intents and purposes. Won't spoil it for you, but it's pretty epic. If you haven't seen it, it's out now where you can rent it. It's awesome. Check it out. Brutal as hell. You got John Carver in there carving people up. That's always cool too. I enjoyed it. The characters were okay. They were serviceable. Nothing too crazy. Nothing really to write home about, but they were fine. But again, we came here for kills. We got kills. We got some pretty cool Thanksgiving atmosphere as well, so I appreciate it for that.
Hell yeah, dude. So let me go ahead and move it on here with my number 6. And this is actually might be the most surprising horror movie of the year. So number 6 is When Evil Lurks. This is like a hidden gem that got like an early release in theaters. And I've been hearing the rumblings that this has potential being one of the best stream movies of the year. If that just, goes directly to streaming. And then we saw this that came out on Shudder, and I hopped on it immediately. And dudes, the only thing I'll say, and I'm pretty much going to leave it to that because I really challenge you all to watch this movie. It gave the best jump scare, probably a top 3 jump scare ever, and it was done so perfectly. If you go and do that, you're really going to be high on my list in the top 10. So my number 6 is When Evil Lurks.
Love it a lot. Number 6 for me is Talk to Me, one of the more popular movies of the year. Australian. It was a banger, man. It was an original concept. I liked it for that. Obviously, it's the one with the little hand that people grab onto. They can see ghosts and shit. That's kind of cool, right? But this movie had a lot of good stuff too. Don't you have a hand party, Birdie? Don't you do it?
I'll use my strong hand.
Yeah, no. What is this? A jerk session? No, wait. Hold on. Anyway, okay. Anyway, so yeah, no, I really like the main character of this as well. I thought it told a compelling story. It had some good moments. Again, some good like kind of oh shit moments throughout that I thought there's a couple of good ones in there. And some good jump scares as well. Just some good terror in there. I thought it was pretty effective at being scary. Again, it was it's not perfect by any means, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about how good it was. So yeah, it's my number 6.
Right, I implore you. Woo! Freaking Austin Power style, baby. Baby, I'm single a bit. Oh, behave. Anyways, but Brad, I'm gonna go continue that little whatever hand section you just mentioned. I'm trying to keep it clean on this channel. So my number 5 is also Talk to Me. Definitely been hearing the rumbles of this movie as well, especially going around the fan film circuit. Definitely, I forgot the big festival it was a part of, but it was a major success at that festival, and that's how it got its release in the theater, and I was super impressed with it. Definitely, like kind of like converted to like two big themes that, especially going on in this world, it kind of tackles kind of like depression a little bit. Actually, not a little bit. It really goes into the depression side of things. And another thing is just the curiosity of like for example, the Tide Pod challenge that we had a couple of years ago. It kind of has those similar vibes into this movie as well, like with the hand and everything. You'll understand when you watch this movie. But other than that, we get good scares, good characters. The main lead actress does a phenomenal job in this movie. So I definitely think it belongs in the top 5. At my number 5, talk to me.
Good pick. Number 5 for me. You just talked about it. When Evil Lurks. You talked about the jump scare already. I'm going to talk about the suspense. I don't think it gets better than what this movie provides leading up to the jump scares. This movie does an exemplary job of doing that. I just, I don't know where that word came from, but it's perfect for describing how this all transpired. Because there's one particular scene, probably the same scene Bert's talking about, that something's going to happen, but it still surprises you because it's done so beautifully. It's done so to perfection. The suspense leading up to that, it just, it's done. It's a very well directed scene. The whole movie is. The story, it's great. It kind of jumps you in this world, where people, get possessed and stuff. And we've established that, we moved on, and it's cool. And that's just a thing. And there's some really nasty, nasty effects in this thing with this one rotten dude. Dude, it's like fucking gross, man. It's one of the nastiest moments of the year for me. One of the nastiest effects I've seen in a minute. Of course, this is a Spanish movie. Once you get around that, once you get used to reading the subtitles, you're going to have a good time and enjoy this story. And honestly, probably I kind of I had this a little higher initially, but then I started thinking about some of these other ones. I was like, yeah. But yeah, it's a fantastic movie. If you haven't seen it, it's one of the scarier movies of the year for sure. So give it a whirl.
Absolutely. Or in other terms, C. So my number 4 is going to be a movie you mentioned earlier, Thanksgiving. Welcome back to slashers in a big way. Like, I understand we've got some good slashers along the way in the 2020s, but I feel like this one definitely hits that exclamation part of the welcome back to the slasher genre, because I feel like this is what we've been missing with our slashing good times. And Eli Roth just... Thank you, man. Definitely one, to me, in my opinion, one of the most underrated horror directors of all time. I just feel like his style, it just gets kind of misunderstood, but he made sure you understood this time around. We get a new slasher icon. Hopefully we're going to get many more of these movies, because we're already going to get a Thanksgiving 2. Just hopefully with the second one, we get better characters. And that's what holds this movie back for going even further on into this list, is within those characters. But other than that, the gore, the kills, a good slasher icon, all that's terrific. Brad mentioned the opening scene being amazing. So my number 4 is Thanksgiving. And I am thankful for that movie.
Number 4 for me, Infinity Pool, Brett's favorite movie of the year. Spoiler alert, this is going to be his number 1. Dude, I just, the more and more I think about this movie, the more and more I like it. Now, I haven't seen it since it came out, so maybe I'll watch it again and I won't be as high on it, but it's one of the movies that's just stuck with me the most this year, man. It's so out there and bonkers and weird, and Alex Gar, 2 great performances. Mia Goth, obviously, she nails it. So, you've seen the scenes, you've seen it popping around. One of her best performances is up there with Pearl. But then, you also look at Alexander Skarsgård on the other side of that, who kills it in this thing. He's kind of playing this like this writer, this author, if you will, that's kind of just like, at a I don't give a fuck stage of his career kind of deal. He's just, kind of whatever. Oh, you like my book? Great. Now we're friends, because he doesn't really give it. Like, now he's getting that attention, and he becomes friends with Mia Goth. But it's just weird and fucking out there in this world where, like, you fucking murder somebody and your punishment is not, you don't go to prison. No, they just fucking clone your ass and you kill your clone, and that's it. Like that's, you're basically, I don't know. There's a lot of good symbolism there within it. There's a lot of good stuff like that, some good themage and all that, which is nice. I always enjoy it. But it's just, I just like being out there in that world, where it's just fucking weird and crazy and just funky, and like you don't really understand. And there's like, some of the scenes in this, the ending, there's a little bit of breastfeeding going on. It's just, it's crazy. It's wild. Take a gander when you can. It might not be for you, but maybe it is, and then you'll thank me for it. It sticks with you. There's nothing you can, it does stick with you.
It certainly does, especially with a shampoo type scene, and you'll totally get it when you watch it. But Brad, I do apologize if that Destiny got into your head about Infinity Pool being a great movie.
Oh, it's a great movie. There was no
Because right
destiny
now
getting
that
into
I
it.
think that's one of her favorites too. So like I was like,
Yeah,
damn it,
I didn't
didn't
even
get to.
know. I didn't even know she liked the movie. But for me, I think it's fantastic. I think, again, it's one of those from this year that I'm always gonna, yeah, I'm gonna revisit it probably more so than a lot of other ones from this year. So I love it.
Eat. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that. So here we go. My number three. This is where I will save it. Nah, I'm just kidding. My number three vote is going to be Evil Dead Rise. And this one definitely got a rise out of me, man. Just because I like the world of the Evil Dead franchise. I feel like, honestly, if we're going to just be honest with each other, I think overall quality in the films, the Evil Dead franchise is the best horror franchise of all time. And definitely included another strong entry into the franchise. And a lot of people, and we almost didn't even get this in the theater, Brad. How crazy is that the horror community actually brought this to the theater? And my God, I am glad that it did, especially with that epic title card you mentioned. Best title card in the world of horror of all time. And we actually got some good title cards this year, if just when I'm actually thinking about it, even one that I'll mention later on. But definitely love how we are in the high rise now. We got out of the way of the cabin setting and just go into a new setting with the same madness and gore. And it just works. And of course, I want to highlight Alyssa Sutherland, who plays Evil Deadite or Mother Deadite, and Ellie. She did a phenomenal job, and I will actually be surprised if she doesn't win Best Lead Actress in the Real Horror Awards this year. But yeah, this is a great time. Our main protagonist, Beth, does a great job in this movie as well. So it's a killer good time. So my number three is Evil Dead Rise.
Let me tell you about another great horror franchise, and that's going to be my number three is Scream 6. Okay, crazy enough, I had this. It's kind of gone, up and down over the. But at the end of the day, this was one of my favorite theater experiences of the year. It's not my favorite, but it's on the it's probably top two or top three. And I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought they did it right. They took this story, this slasher story to New York, made Ghostface crazier than ever, made him more brutal than ever. Success rate wasn't great for some of his kills, but he still looked cool doing it. He did slay some mofos. We had some great use of New York City. I thought it was really well done. So yeah, I love the shit out of it. And I'll put it at number three.
Hell yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and go with my number two, and everybody's going to be shocked at my number two because really it's number one until Brad, again, we're going to get into this when we get into our number one. We'll get into it. So my number two is also going to be Scream 6. That's my number two, Brad's number three. And Scream 6, definitely one of my favorite theater experiences of this year. And plus, going to the New York atmosphere, genius idea. And again, me and Brad talked about this. It was our worry that they were going to do too much with the New York setting or even do too less of it. But no, they hit it just perfectly right. They did such a great job, like using the whole atmosphere, the whole city of New York to their advantage. And of course, Melissa Barrera, Jenna Ortega stepped up their game from their previous Scream movie of Scream 5. I feel like they did so much better in this one in Scream 6. And yeah, third act does hurt this movie a little bit, and that's why, unfortunately, it doesn't be at my number one. Again, without my number one, without being what it is, this would be number one, but that's the challenge, though. It's what that third act did, unfortunately. It could be written and executed a lot better, but Scream 6, still love it. I will still love that movie for the end of time. My number two is Scream 6.
Good pick. Number two for me, Saw 10. Couple sequels, couple post 5 sequels at that, in two different franchises. But dude, this is to me like it's the best story in the Saw franchise. That's without a doubt. That's hands down. It's the best characters in the Saw franchise given here, the best writing possibly in the Saw franchise in general. So obviously I loved it. I did not expect much from this movie when they announced it, with the direction the Saw franchise has gone over the last, couple of attempts. But this thing was, it gave John Kramer life again, for all intents and purposes. And yeah, I love to see an actual story with some character arcs in here and giving John some complex narratives and making us kind of feel like kind of where he's at and see that, but also at the same time just go back to kind of the roots of the franchise as well. So it was done really well. for me. So yeah, this is the one. I've seen this movie 3 times this year already, and I just, I love the shit out of it. Again, same thing with Scream. The third act could have been a little bit better. The ending could have been a little bit better. They could have done some better stuff at the end. But at the end of the day, it was very heartfelt. You really felt a lot of, sympathy. Crazy enough for John and Amanda as well throughout the movie. Again, it didn't hold back on the kills either. They kicked ass there with that. So yeah, give me Saw 10, man. I love the shit out of it.
I have my hobbies. So what in the hell is going to be our number one? That Brad can even put Saw X at number one. Now I couldn't even put Scream 6 at number one. Brad, what movie could we possibly go wrong?
Oh, it's crazy. Why don't you let the people know?
Okay, fine. I'll let the people know because Brad won the debate. I officially forfeit the white flag. So, anyways, number one for the both of us, I'm going to safely assume. Number one for the both of us is going to be Godzilla -1. And what in the mother dick? I was about to say mother dick. But what in the mucky blue hell? Like, where did this movie come from? Like, I heard the rumblings, and that wasn't Godzilla making his footsteps. It's this freaking movie. And I'm like, you know what? I got the free time. Let's go watch this movie. And oh my gosh, this movie was absolutely perfection. This made me actually like. I was a fan of Godzilla, okay, even going into this movie. But man, this one really solidified why I love Godzilla. It just respected the hell out of the Godzilla movies that came before this one. They took the mistakes from the previous ones and they just perfected it, and it just looks so clean. The storytelling, the characters. You actually care in a Godzilla movie about these characters and the story of what goes on. So I'm gonna actually stop at that and give Brad some time to describe why his number one is Godzilla -1, because it's definitely mine.
It is mine as well. And here's the thing. Here's what kills me about this movie. I don't even like Godzilla. I've never liked I don't like a single Godzilla movie that's been made in America. Those have been the only ones I've seen. Yeah, well, I don't give a fuck. You can lay eggs in Times Square. I never even cared about any of them. I hated them all. I wouldn't say I hate them, but I just don't care. None of them have been good to me. I haven't enjoyed them, any of them. Haven't seen any Japanese ones yet, but then, I wouldn't have saw this. I didn't even know it was coming out, but then the word of mouth, this is a great story of word of mouth and what that can do for a movie. Because that's the only reason I went and saw this. Like, same thing as Birdie. I had a little extra time one day. Everybody's been talking about this on the internet. So I went, I watched it, and I was blown away. I didn't have any expectations, really. I was like, oh, it's probably just going to be a monster movie, whatever. Maybe they did a really good job with it. But it's so much more than that. And again, yeah, I could definitely consider this horror because, again, like, it's a creature feature, It's no different than Tremors. It's no different than Jaws. It's no different than any of that. It's just, it happens to be this giant sci-fi style monster. So I think some, people maybe think that sometimes it's not. But it's so much more than a horror movie at the same time. I get it. It goes into other genres as well. It's dramatic. It's a great character movie. It tackles survivor's guilt. It's very tragic. It's also very inspiring at times. It's got a lot of meaning behind it. And if you can sit through subtitles at all, if you haven't seen this thing, go check it out, man, because this is what we need more of right here. This story right here. We need to put this in a lot of different horror IPs and just movies in general, because this is how winning is done. This is how you go. Their budget was $15 million for a Godzilla movie. You gotta, like, okay, what is this? A fucking fan film on YouTube? What is this? What are you gonna do with $15 million for a Godzilla movie? I thought they were gonna come out with Godzilla costumes and shit, like be kicking people like on zip lines. But no, it looks fucking good. It looks better than all the other shit we're doing here for $200 million. So it's crazy. When you have people who care, you have people who put effort in, blood, sweat, tears. This is what you get. And I think it's, again, not only the best horror movie of the year, but one of the best movies of the year.
No, dude, absolutely it is. An instant golden reel for me. I even texted Brad, like, Brad, this is an instant golden reel, man. So definitely why we include this as our number one in our opinion. So guys, that's it, man. Horror movies for the year 2023. Another year down, another year get ready to come up. Looking forward to the year of 2024. So we want to go ahead and ask you guys, what did you think about our top 10 of horror movies from the year of 2023? Did we freaking nail it and do awesome? Or did we do a bad job? Or is there a movie fact we forgot to include? Or do you agree with us do you all include Godzilla -1 on your all's top 10 horror movie list? Let us know all that good stuff in the comment section down below. Let's get that discussion rolling.
And if you want to help us find the good reels, all of our links are right down there in the description. Just go jump in there, look around, find one. Patreon's down there. That's where you'll find them.
Abso-freaking-lutely. So until then, we're just going to just take it easy, and we'll see you next year for a great year of horror of 2024.
Bam, wham. Thank you, Mr. Jam. Space Jam.
Yeah.
No!